Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero. And if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our NJPW G1 Climax 35 preview, breaking down this year's tournament and giving our predictions for everything that will go down starting this Saturday, July 19th. It is the biggest and most important tournament of the year, and you know how we do here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. We gotta give our prediction for everything that's gonna go down starting this Saturday, and to do that, you are joined by the never open weight 6-man tag team champions of New Japan Pro Wrestling coverage. Yes, we are all back together. The trio is here. First up, we got the MC of the past, present, and future of New Japan Pro Wrestling here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. It's your boy, J News. How you doing, J News?
Doing all right, man. Just here, waiting to talk about this tournament. Took a little bit of a break there for the last 7 days or so. And now I'm ready to break this all down, man. It's a unique tournament this year. Lots of people we can pick and choose from, being that we have a new heavyweight champion upon us. So we'll see how it all breaks down.
It's been a while since we had a new champion crowned right before the tournament. I think the last time was what, like 2018? With Kenny? Was it Kenny?
Yeah.
No, 2022 with Jay White.
Yeah.
Jay White in 2022 was the last time. So yeah, it happens ever so often, and we're here again. And after a long hiatus, we've missed her so much. We've begged and pleaded for her to come back home, and she is home here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. It is the most positive New Japan Pro Wrestling fan in the business today. This is Sonal. How are you doing, Sonal?
I'm good. I feel like, just like you mentioned it, how much I've actually missed. Like, I think, like, especially the last year, you go into, like, there was New Japan Soul, and then there was this Tanahashi show. And obviously, I wasn't there for either of those reviews. But, like, I went into especially the tour, and I was like, nothing much is going down. It's just, like, it's a tour that's in between, like, Dominion and the G1. And then I was like, And then, obviously, they had All In with Kenny and Okada. And I was like, what's going on?
Everything's going on.
Everything is going on, and the G1 hasn't even started yet.
Yep. Gabe Kidd was at All In as well. He's been a part. He's made it official. He's put it on his knee pads. He's both Bullet Club, War Dogs, and the Death Riders. So you're here for it. You're here. You're locked in. You're in the AEW verse as well.
I'm really not locked in for that, and I'm not going to speak about that because I have done an entire video about it, and I will continue to not agree with what is going on. But we're not here to talk about that because, like I said,
hey,
I could be on here for an hour and a half just talking about that.
Why not? Go ahead, let it out. This is True Heel Heat. You got to let out your true feelings, and all.
Right? Because I feel like actually I've not really discussed it on this. With
no, you haven't.
So my issue, so when I say I don't get it, and people are like, you don't want Gabe in AEW, I have no issue with Gabe being in AEW. Actually, you know what? It's good. It's, you know what I mean? I like that idea of like that. You know, we've got like Ishii, he's doing both, and Gabe fits really well with AEW. He does it. It's the decision to put him with the. I understand Death Riders is a heel faction, and again, I don't watch AEW fully, but I feel like they're the heelist of the heels. I assume, right? Yeah. So obviously that, I mean, it's a bit weird because obviously like Gabe is a tweener and quite a big baby face in New Japan. I think my issue comes with the right. So here, listen to me out on this, right? So Gabe has been going on for like ages and having to go at Tanahashi because he's sick of the interference and all the tomfoolery with the bloody House of Torture. And from what I watched of Moxie and all them, that's what it feels like. Secondly, and this is obviously, I think, a lesser opponent, it's more recent. How many times has Gabe, like, literally dissed Okada? And just, like, these guys, like, especially as he was leaving, it's like, you're not doing shit for this company. And he's in the same faction. To me, it's like, I understand if you want to put... Because everyone's like, Gabe hates AEW as much as Moxley does. But, like, Gabe is Gabe. For him to show his hatred, he shouldn't need somebody else. Do you know what I mean? He's the fucking madman. Have him in his own faction going wild, just basically like killing everyone. I don't know. I just feel like putting him in this kind of faction with so many people is just, it goes against everything that New Japan Gabe was for. It just feels like like I've seen loads of takes from the Japanese fans as well, and a lot of them are just like, because like from my heart, like my sort of Japanese knowledge, you can see that they're just confused. They're like, well, you've spent like a whole year saying, oh, you love New Japan and this and that. And then you're going to AEW and I'm not saying like they're like the House of Torture, because that's like, nobody should be compared to House of Torture. Like, that's just rude.
Because there's actually a point to the Death Riders.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and they actually can wrestle. But I'm just saying that they do have interference and things like that. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you want some sort of parallel, that's it. And obviously that's what for me, it's a bit hypocritical. And the fact that he doesn't really address it in New Japan. He spent ages saying, I'm going to address it, and then he never really did.
No. I don't. I think that this comes down to Gato not communicating with Gabe Kidd, because if Gabe Kidd was this, he's basically been like a tweener that's been edging closer and closer to being a babyface in New Japan. And then they did this whole angle with him with the Death Riders. I think it comes down to the fact that this was an idea that probably Tony Khan had to put Gabe Kidd in a main event storyline, which he was part of the main event of one of their biggest shows yet. So it's huge for his career, and he got to perform in front of nearly.
It's deserved for Gabe as well. He deserves that main spot in the partner company. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But
it could set up. It could set up him back in London in the O2 at Forbidden Door, facing somebody like your Samoa Joe or your Will Ospreay, and that's a huge opportunity for him as well. All of that to say, it just comes down to New Japan and Gabe not really communicating with Tony Khan. Tony Khan probably came up with this idea, and no one gave him any pushback. So
no one told him. By the way, the man you want to push as a massive heel in AEW actually. He got more cheers than Kenny Omega in his match at Wrestle Dynasty. No one decided to send him that. Did Tony Khan not watch the match? Or not watched anything Gabe's done for like the past few months in New Japan? Gato forgot, someone in the booking team doesn't have Tony Khan's number. And they weren't like, after the first time, they weren't like, right, it's cool. We lent you Gabe, but you're kind of shitting up our whole thing we've got here with Gabe trying to be like the shining light. But like the anti-hero, I guess, of New Japan. The vigilante.
But maybe that New Japan wants him to be a tweener, and he's been veering too close to being a straight up babyface. So maybe this is them basically balancing the scales a bit by having him be a heel in the US.
It's a bit extreme though. I feel like you've literally just, because the thing is, right, for all the intents and purposes that we complain as Western fans, it's seeing the Japanese fans respond, because like a lot of them don't watch AEW, right? A lot of them will, but especially because I think they stopped doing those commentary streams, didn't they? Because I remember they used to have like Despy and that doing commentary for them. So for them, like just seeing this heel Gabe, it doesn't really impact them. Unlike Gabe as a thing, apart from them going, well, now I don't really know whether we can trust Gabe. Because he spends, and now the fact, because I didn't actually know that he had the Death Riders on his knee pad. Having that next to the New Japan, it feels a bit, I don't know, it doesn't come across right. And if he has it in New Japan, if he wears that during the G1, that's going to get shit. That's not going to go down well. And I'm going to be one of those people that doesn't go down well with.
He wore it during Dominion when he won the global title. He wore it against Tanahashi when he versed him on the Soul Tour. He's been wearing it for a while.
Why did I not notice?
Yeah, the commentary even brought it up. The English commentary brought it up.
I might have been listening to Japanese commentary. I try and improve my Japanese by listening to Japanese. No, the shout out to like obviously like Walk and Chris and everyone. They're great. It's obviously just as someone who's learning Japanese, sometimes it helps to listen to Japanese commentary.
J News, any thoughts on what Sonal's hot take to start us off?
No. Look, everyone is at this point. I'm not one of those folks who thinks someone's opinion is right or wrong. Everybody's owed their opinion. I sit on the side of the fence that most people don't. And I don't hear a lot of people having this conversation. And I feel like people are missing this point of the conversation. What's Gabe's tagline again? He's the fucking what?
Madman.
Madman, you know?
Madmen don't make what? Sense, right? They don't make sense. So if the madman don't make sense, whatever he does will not make sense. So to me, he's riding the line of the gimmick. So to me, it just doesn't matter. He's going to end up wherever he wants to end up for his own purposes. If either it be hypocritical, either it be logical, either it be him wanting to spit on a young woman, pile drive a guy through a table, and or take the head off of an old man. He's going to do it all because he's a madman.
And he's going to steal a baby as well.
Exactly. So, and then the next thing you know, he's going to be in the middle of the ring crying his eyes out
again.
Again, and pleading his case to the fans in New Japan because he is not right in the head. And we all need to accept and liberate ourselves of these regular constructs that we're used to in storytelling when it comes to Gabe Kidd specifically. That's all I'm saying.
I think actually that's a very good perspective. And I think if that would be actually, if they want to try and salvage something here, that's how they should, and they should incorporate that into Gabe's running the G1 and his post-match promos. Do you know what I mean? Like, they should have people go up to him and go, oh, what about the Death Riders? And he'll go, and him just say something when he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? Like, him almost like, no, but you know the idea of like him separating himself, like having different, because obviously Gabe is spoken about, but having like two different sides, and when he's in AW, he focuses on that, but suddenly in New Japan, he's we saw, he cries in the ring, his match against Tanahashi. He's a completely different person. So I think if they did what Jay News said and how he's looking at, I would be fine with that, because actually you're not getting rid of that Gabe from New Japan. You're just giving more depth to it. But at the moment, it just, as we discussed earlier, he's just not, he's saying, I'm going to address it, but he's not actually doing it. There needs to be a link. And the idea
does there need to be a link for him to still be crazy? I think this is where we're missing the point. The link is the bridge to all this is just Gabe, right? It's not the formality of having the communication. Gabe, the character, is the link to all of it at the end of the day. He doesn't need to explain, because at the end of the day, he might not really have an explanation. He's just doing, for the sake of doing. So, and some people are impulsive like that. So, it is, they're there to, he's there to scratch an itch for that particular moment. And then he goes back to do whatever the hell he was doing before. You know what I'm saying? That's just my perspective of it all, because it's like, it's wrestling at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? What is the character? And there's a big, if he's gonna toe the line of the fucking madman, it's like, he's gonna do whatever the hell he wants. He's gonna be a baby face over here. He's gonna be a heel over there. He's gonna be a misogynist over here. He's gonna love the ladies over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he's
but the thing is, I'd like to think that they had that much thought into it, like Jay News has, but I don't think they did. I think it was just a case.
They don't.
Yeah, no. I do think if Jay News should phone them their New Japan bookers, phone Tony Khan, go, right, this is actually what you should have been doing from the start, because it makes perfect sense. But that is literally not what they're going for. It's literally a case of New Japan have been booking him a certain way. I think AW needed to get him into a storyline and a big thing, and went, okay, we're gonna have him as a heel, but hasn't watched him for the past few months.
At the end of the day, man, look, I'm just riding the madman wave right now. I have a feeling that things, like if we're thinking logically, right, and we're thinking in the linear way, I think things went to shit when Jay got injured. I think something was supposed to happen.
Always Jay. It's always Jay.
So there was supposed to be some sort of a link there, and then he fell off, and then whatever and then Jordy got hurt. Pac got hurt. So he just seemed to be the easiest one to file in. Mercenary guy who's just getting paid to come in and do whatever, because Gabe's a fucking madman. It just made sense to do that. But yeah, I think that probably makes the most sense. Because I feel like they're and we were clamoring for this before Jay got hurt. There could have been an avenue for him to come back. I know he's not allowed in Japan, but the avenue's there. You know what I'm saying? The avenue's there. So it's like
Forbidden Door is the best we could do. Forbidden Door, sir.
But if Jay is at Forbidden Door, you will see me somehow. If I don't get these press tickets, you'll see me bungee jumping into the arena to get a glimpse of Jay White. It's been too long. You see me just crowd surfing. Get me to Jay.
We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on the video. You could share the video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you could sound off in the comment section if you're watching us on demand. and comment in the live chat if you are with us live for this live stream here, and we'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible on screen. But of course, if you want your comment read out, you got a hot take, you got an opinion you want to have read out, you have a question for any of us when it comes to NJPW and the G1 Climax 35 tournament, you can send a super chat donation. That goes a long way to help the channel grow and move forward. It goes back to all the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support, like our good brother Volop in the chat, starting us off strong with a super chat donation where he says, I got Tsuji winning. Tsuji versus Takeshita finals. Also, if Zack is going to remain his current dickhead heel self, then we're getting Tsuji winning at Wrestle Kingdom. So he's starting us off hot with his opinion, his prediction for the G1 Climax 35 tournament. Thank you so much, Vala, for that. We got Power Driver Finisher, who thinks that Takeshita wins the G1 this year. We also got a couple of comments talking about the Gabe Kid conversation. Big Man Dog says, just maybe don't have him side with Moxley and spit on Willow if you want fans to like him. I don't think New Japan wanted the fans to like him. That's what I was kind of saying as a counterpoint to what Sonal saying, because I know Sonal was like, the fans were behind him and he was preaching how much he loves New Japan. I personally don't think that New Japan wanted him to be a babyface.
No, I agree with that. I think obviously there was no, because you can tell now the fact that House of Torture the only heel faction now. There was no intention to have war dogs between us. But the problem is between Gabe and then obviously Clark is very liked as well. He got like in the best Super Junior when he had like Taya-san, Wheel-san. Do you know what I mean? Like he and like stuff with Meet the Fan and things. I think it was an unnatural and it was an unexpected natural turn to babyface that they didn't expect, and obviously New Japan couldn't resist it. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously that caused problems. Like we've said, that House of Torture are really the only heel faction, unless again we're moving in that direction of TMDK with obviously Dick Zack. And obviously, I didn't mention this because I wasn't on the reviews and stuff. That could be a possibility because obviously Zack is a dick there. If Fujita has gone a bit crazy after losing to Despy, I'd be happy with a heel TMDK. I think it would work because Suzuki-gun and Zack was great.
Yeah. We got Power Driver Finisher. He says, it's just weird that he's in a stable in AEW that might be the downfall in the company, but is working for AEW as much as he hates AEW. He's not working for AEW. He's made that perfectly clear. Any interview he does on camera, any interview he does with any media outlets, he says specifically that he's working for Jon Moxley. He's working for Jon Moxley. He's not working for AEW.
But that feels a bit weird to me, though. Like, I feel like the fucking Madman wouldn't work for anyone.
Jon Moxley is a great manipulator. He's a great leader.
At the end of the day, I've been saying this from the beginning, but nobody's trying to hear me. I don't feel he should be working for anybody. But isn't David Finlay his leader anyways? So
exactly. That's also true.
Here. Right. So let's be realistic.
There's a whole hell of a lot of contradictions with the Gabe character that like we could look into.
Yeah, if you look closely, there's a lot of contradictions in everything.
That's why he's mad. That's why he's mad, man.
He takes no authority unless it's David Finlay. He doesn't like AEW and he's not going to do anything for them unless it's Jon Moxley.
There you go. He has people that he makes the exception for. Yusuf saying, believe it or not, Gabe's match with Shibata and his work in AEW has been the sharpest he's been since his first match with Tsuji at the New Beginning. Yeah, the match with Shibata was awesome. Not a lot of people talked about that match on Collision, man. I was pissed. I was like, come on, y'all. Like we just got old school Shibata in there with Gabe Kidd, and nobody's talked about this shit. Hey, that made my matches of the week on True Hill Heat.
I think maybe could it be the people not understanding the story? Do you know what I mean? I guess if you're AEW, you won't know you won't know the depth of like the LA dojo and things like that. Maybe that's where it's missed out. Because obviously, for us New Japan, we're like marking out. We're like, oh my god, this is like.
Yeah. To be fair. To be fair, it was to pop the New Japan fans because they didn't take the time to explain, and mainly they didn't take the time to explain because the Western fans, the North American fans, they're not going to take the time to really get engaged in that. You have to ask the question: are they going to care?
No, they're not going to watch that great documentary that Shibata had when he had the Young Lions.
Yeah, they're not going to watch that. And mind you, like commentary did their best, even between the tag matches and between the one-on-one. They tried to play up the story, but like folks, they just didn't buy it at the end of the day. Yeah.
You American fans don't care.
Yusuf also making a good point. He says, I believe Gabe is doing a Bret Hart babyface in Japan and Belland in America, which could be true.
Great use of the word Belland.
I mean, Belland's a stretch, but hey.
Great word. Never thought I'd hear that on a wrestling stream. So, yay.
Very rare stuff there. Very rare stuff. And Big Man Dodd's kind of agreeing with J News take, saying I think they just needed a replacement for Pac, and Gabe was free due to Super Juniors tour. Yeah, could be that. Could be as simple as that. Really.
I mean, they did start him off. That segment in the back between him and Mark Briscoe. I thought that was going to go somewhere. To be quite honest, that's why I mentioned Jay White because it could have pivoted into that. Because before Jay got hurt, he was in that whole in between with Briscoe and everybody else before shit was going the other way. But like it happened. People got hurt. He fit in. Yeah, it is what it is.
Random question. Random point here. And this is completely again off the topic. I was trying to think how many times Jay has got injured since he's been in AEW. And like I try and like compare it to New Japan.
About 4.
Yeah, it's a lot.
4?
And
is it 4?
I think it was 4.
I think it was the broken hand, and then before the broken hand, yeah, it was just the ankle. It was 2.
I think
he's only been in AEW since 2023.
Right, but there was also a time where he took, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't an ankle thing. It was, I think there was a concussion protocol thing for a couple of weeks or whatever. But that I don't
know. I just find it like bizarre because obviously they're not just like small niggling injuries. They're like long term. I don't ever remember this unless I've like blanked it out. But I don't remember it being like.
I don't want to get into the whole injury thing with AEW. That's a whole conversation that's going on online right now. That's like it's starting to piss me off. Especially with what's happened with Adam Cole. But it's I'm just at this point, injuries happen. Hopefully they Jay gets back soon. And there's that.
Also shout out to Juice Robinson, who looks slightly like Bo Dallas now. He doesn't
the Juice man wasn't Juice.
We talked about that in reviews.
It's so bizarre to me. I'm like, whenever he gets rid of the beard, I just get kind of I'm like, who is this person? It's not Juice. Like, I'm so confused because everyone like Juice came back, and I was like, I'm not seeing any clips of it. And then someone did. I was like, is that Juice?
Are you sure that's Juice?
Are you sure that's
he needs
not
to just
change?
Else? He needs to change his attire as well. He doesn't need to dress like that again.
Yeah, please. It was weird. I was like, I know it's been a while since we've seen Juice, but.
All right, it's time to talk about the G1 Climax 35 tournament. As always, what we do with our previews here, from 0 to 10, how excited are you for the start of the G1 Climax 35 tournament? We'll start with you, Sonal.
So I think like a few weeks ago, maybe like a 7, but actually and then it went down to a 6 because Goto got injured, but then it went back to a 9 because Taichi got in. So
seems fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm excited because, like, aside from the obvious, you had to have House of Torture people in it, like, just obvious. The lineup.
You don't have to.
No, but the distinct lack of heels we've got.
I don't care. We don't have to.
You know what I mean? It's still pro. I know it's New Japan, but actually, I'm really happy with the lineups and stuff. Like how Yoshihashi, Taichi. You know what I mean? Like, this is obviously again just like a personal thing. Like I'm so happy that Taichi and Yoshihashi are in it, and then Oiwa and stuff like that. So obviously the additions of House of Torture is like you've got to live with it, isn't it? It's just
It is what it is at this point. J News, what you at 0 to 10?
Right now I'm at about a good 7.5. Reason being is that with the Goto injury down, at this point, I don't know who to believe about injuries and whatnot. People getting booked for movies here and there. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna be in Street Fighter. Let's go, Street Fighter.
It's good. Man, listen, man. I mean, whoever's casting this Street Fighter movie is a mark. So it is what it is.
He's definitely a wrestling fan.
There's so many names that I've seen. It's insane. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so there's that about it. But 7.5 so far. I'm glad that I'm listening. Like I'm glad Taichi and Yoshihashi got in and they got their positions in the tournament. I'm good on the blocks. The blocks are reasonable. And hopefully we just get good interwoven stories going throughout the tournament, outside of the usual people favoring, body part stuff or whatever the case is. So, yeah.
All right, let's look at this lineup here. After the Seoul tour, the lineups are set for this Saturday. You got in the A block, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Taichi, Yuya Uemura, Bolton Oleg, Yota Tsuji, Roye Uyoa, Callum Newman, David Finlay, Evil, and Sonata. Now, I've been hearing a lot of people say that they think that the A block is better than the B block. What's kind of your opinion on the A block? And we'll go 0 to 10. Where are you at as far as like rating the A block overall in your thoughts and all?
It's hard because normally I have like each year I have a block that's my favorite, and that's normally not consisting of like the matches, but normally like my favorite wrestlers are in it. While I think I still have like a slight edge on the people who are in the B block, actually looking at it, I like both of them. They've both got names that I really support. So it's like normally I think there seems to be something that normally it's the B block that I like the most, because they normally have the wrestlers that I like the most. But actually, while I go, but you know what, like my favorites, like got ELP, Zack, Takeshita, Shingo. Oh, but wait, but like Block A has got Oiwa, Uemura, Tsuji. Do you not like it's? I can't like normally I'm quite good at saying like this block is my favorite, but I can't. I think that maybe you'll say A block slightly lower because it's got two members of House of Torture.
That's my whole reason why I prefer B block over A block.
You know what I mean? I've got so many of my favorites in A block, but just for the presence of Evil, and I do love Sonata, but we all know he's not in the best shape, and like he's not going to do what we expect from him. So just for that case, A is lower, but it's only because there's two members of House of Torture rather than one.
J News, what about you? What do you think about the A block overall?
I'm with Big Man Dogs, man. I think it's pretty even, to be quite honest. Just the way that everything is parsed up. They got all the war torn former champion vets at the bottom outside of Sonata on in the A block, and then the younger guys aren't the younger up and coming. At least the guys that we see up and coming, stuff like that. They're in the A block, and so for me it balances out that way. I think it's pretty even Stevens in that sense. So that's why like right now I don't really have a sense of like where they're going with the G1 per se, especially with Zack being champion. The only thing that I do know is they're not going to run back another Shooter versus Zack main event at Wrestle Kingdom. So outside of that, we can be certain of that one. So
hey, I'll tell you on my predictions when you say who's going to win, who I want to be. They're not even in my head. What my heart will make me pay to go to Japan again. What main event for Wrestle Kingdom? All right. I want.
That's what we call a cliffhanger, folks. Yeah, as far as like 0 to 10 for the A block, I'll give it a solid 7.5. And as far as my anticipation for the tournament, I'm at like an 8. I always love G1. G1 season is my favorite season in the world. So Let's
See,
talk. Let's
mine's
look at
Wesley
the.
Super Junior.
I know. That's when you came in. The B block for the G1, we got Shota Umino, we got El Phantasmo, you got Yoshihashi, Shingo Takagi, Zack Sabre Jr., the Great Okan, Gabe Kidd, Drilla Maloney, Ren Narita, and Konosuke Takeshita. The Takeshita being in this block automatically makes it my favorite block. I'll be honest with you. Plus, they got a couple of my other favorites in Shingo, Zack, Gabe Kidd. I think ELP and G1 season is way different from ELP any other time of the year. I think Drilla Maloney is a lot of fun, and I like Yoshihashi being the latest addition to the tournament. As far as like shooter, Great Okan and Ren Narita. Great Okan was better in G1 season than he was any other time of the year last year. So it's just Ren and Shooter that kind of bring it down. So I put the B block at like an 8 out of 10. I'm at an 8 out of 10 with the B block here. J News, what do you think about the B block in this year's G1?
Yeah, man, the B block is strong, dog. You know, like I said, I think between the A block and the B block, I think it's pretty even. Takeshita and the matches that he's going to get out of this, they're going to be bangers. He's going to light it up yet again. I expect Okan and Ren Narita to be taking as many pins as possible. So that's the way that I see it for the B block. And they're probably going to keep Shooter even, more than likely. And Zack's going to be strong, and Takeshita's going to be strong, and Shingo might be squirming his way in, you know what I'm saying? Type deal. ELP's gonna be that dark horse, man. He's gonna be that dark horse. So, but yeah, man, I think it's pretty even between A and B block right now, and I look forward to the majority of the matches that are going to be happening in the B block. A lot of rematches from previous matches earlier in the year and last year's G1 as well. So wondering how everything's going to go the second time over when it comes to Takeshita and things of that nature. And we'll see what Yoshihashi's got to bring to the flame too. So yeah, man.
Yeah. What about you, Sonal?
Yeah, Yoshihashi's doing it for his husband Goto, who can't be there, either out of injury or for a movie. Yeah, I'm excited. Again, B block has the slight advantage. I think again, you guys know I have no issues with Shota. I hope he stays within like the middle of the card. You know what I mean? Like even like balance, because yeah, I'm really excited to see Shingo. ELP, like Jay New said, I think he's gonna cause. I don't know if he's ever going to be close to winning, especially not soon, but he's going to be one that picks up wins, especially because he's got a title. So I think he's going to pick up wins, and I feel like he's going to play spoiler. But like more excited than anything, I want to see Zack Sabre Jr. Because we've seen him have matches with a lot of those guys recently. Shota, he's done ELP, he's from Besties, he's done everyone. But that's a babyface, especially as champion as a babyface. Zack Sabre Jr. as a heel, or again, he's not, but as a cocky bastard, is something that is just completely different. Like, if anyone doesn't remember the Suzuki-gun days, that's where he's at his most dangerous. And I think that's just going to add an extra thing because, like, I'm trying to figure out when the last time we had a proper heel champion, like world champion.
It's Jay White.
So that was ages ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like
it's like 3 years ago, pretty much.
Yeah, so this is, and especially like you said, you change so close to G1, and now he's a heel. It makes everything more interesting. Especially like I'm really excited to see cocky Zack Sabre Jr. versus Takeshita, who's like top of the world, like 3 contract Takeshita.
Exactly. So we're going to do like we did for the Best of Super Juniors, where we're going to go through each person and we're going to say who we think is going to have, who they're going to have their best match with in the tournament. So I'll let y'all look at the blocks on one page first before we get into the individual folks. So you absorb, you know who's in each block with each other and who you want to see them against. So first, we'll start off with the A block, of course, and we got in his final G1 Climax tournament, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Tanahashi, of course, won the G1 back in 2018. He's won it several times prior to that. He's a multi-time G1 Climax winner in 2007, 2015, and 2018. It's been a while since we've seen Tanahashi in the G1 as well, but his final year, we get Tanahashi in the tournament. Who do you want to see Tanahashi face emerge? What do you think is going to be his best match of this year's tournament? Sonal.
It's hard because he has a history with so many people in this block. But I think personally, after that surprising loss that he took, I can't remember which show it was. Was it Dominion? Uemura. Because I think Uemura as well, since obviously he's now in Hontai, he's almost the role that like was almost thrusted upon Shota. That's sort of going towards Uemura. You know, he's like the guy who does stuff for New Japan outside. He's doing the charity work. I think you're now basically it's going to be the current ace versus the future ace. Not just in terms of like winning champions, but you know who's going to be like the face of the company. And especially after that last loss, I think it's going to be very interesting to see. But please make it short. I don't want to see Tanner in like 8, 9, 25-minute matches. His knees can't take that.
True. I'm going to go with Yota Tsuji. I think that him and Tsuji, they had like the little feud when they were feuding over the never open weight 6-man tag team titles, but those were in trios matches. One-on-one, I think this is the first time since Tsuji has been like a young lion that he'll go one-on-one with Tanahashi. I'm looking forward to that one the most, and I think that's going to be his best match because that's kind of like a passing of the torch, if you will, as well. J News?
So, for Tana, I feel like there's a couple of things that we can do here. As for his best match, I'll probably give that just from an emotional standpoint, either Taichi or David Finlay. I feel like there's going to be some sort of an interesting twist whenever his match happens with Sonata. Since he's easily manipulated by people, maybe Tanahashi can get Sonata to turn on evil in the House of Torture. Who knows?
We can only wish.
We can only wish, right? But I think Tana's best match is probably going to come either with Taichi or David Finlay. Not taking anything away from Tsuji and Yuri Uemura. Is just as of right now, you know, they've had their matches. You know, the torch hasn't been completely passed on, but I feel like that'll happen before the year's over, not necessarily right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Gotta pick one.
Oh, pick one. Shit, why not, man? I'll give the boss dog a go. Go David Finlay.
Look at that. He is your dog for real. Then we got Tai Chi, the man that the world was behind to make it into the G1, who had that fantastic final stretch in the gauntlet matchup against Tomohiro Ishii. It's been 2 years since Taiji has been in the G1 Climax tournament. Who's going to be Taichi's best opponent, best match of this year's tournament? J News.
Tai Chi. I got it. Tai Chi. Let's see. You know what, man? I'm gonna give Tai Chi's best match of the tournament to. I'm gonna give it a big Tsuji. They've got great chemistry together, and I feel like, you know, Tai Chi is a sentimental favorite going right now. Big Tsuji is one of those guys who, obviously, of the present generation, the newer generation, that people are behind. So it'll be one of those emotional roller coaster matches for folks to watch. So I'll give that the Big Tsuji.
Sonal.
I at first was going to say Callum because I really liked his match for the prelims, but actually, I'm a sucker for interfaction matches. And so I'm specifically looking forward to Taichi versus Uemura. I keep saying Uemura, this is not just a thing, but I like it when you, especially like obviously Hontai, normally you'd be like, well, it's not too much because they're quite big and they'll face each other a lot. But you've basically got the two guys from just 4 guys, just 5 guys, just 3 guys, whatever you want, facing each other. You know, like Uemura looks up to Taichi. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they go about this. Is it going to be like a proper battle like we see Ugata Ishii, or is it going to be brutal? Do you know what I mean? I always like stuff like that.
I'm gonna go with Roye Uyowa. I think Uyowa has the style that works the best with Taichi, where you could have a hit 'em up, never open weight, just hard hitting style matchup, similar to what he did with Tomohiro Ishii. So I'm gonna go with Uyowa here. And then the aforementioned person that Sonal thinks is going to have the best match with everybody, Yuya Uemura. Uemura this is his second G1, and he has a lot to prove here because he got injured in his, I think, second to last or third to last matchup of the G1 last year, hurting his forearm, and he was out for several months until returning earlier this year. So Uemura has a lot to prove. Who's going to be his best matchup, his best opponent of this year's G1? Sonal.
I have like 2. So storyline wise, I think Sanada, but actually match wise, I think Oyua. I think they're very similar in the sense of like their comeback after Excursion wasn't as big as others. So for example, Uemura came back quite late compared to the other 3 Musketeers, and had a slower sort of start. He was sort of seemed to be stagnating, wasn't winning titles or getting these big opportunities. I think it's similar to Oyua, but also I think their build's quite big. They're very athletic, but they've got quite a bit of muscle on it. And I think it's always fun when you see former young lions who are in different classes, because obviously Oyua was the one just bit like below Uemura. So I think that'd be cool to see their styles match up.
J News.
I got Uemura's best match. Sonal slightly mentioned it. I think he might get Sonata's best match out of him at the end of the day. There is a standing history there. You know, the just 5 guys, just 4 guys, they're still bad blood. And I think that'll be Uemura's best match. And we can actually get, and I'll say this before we get to Sonata, but I think it's going to be the same thing turned around. It's going to be Sonata's best match as well. So I'm going to give it to those guys there.
You guys just won't give up the Sonata nonsense. I mean, it's like
we still see hope in him, you know. We still see that there might be something.
Spoiler alert, I will not be picking Sonata for anybody. Uemura's best match, I'll go with Tsuji because, like I said, he got injured in the G1 last year, and that was against Tsuji. So I think that's going to be the one that has the most emotion and story into it. So I'm going to go with Tsuji.
Sonata hater.
I'm just keep it real. I'm sorry. Then we got the never open weight champion and neither Sonal's nor Jay News's favorite wrestler in this block, Boltin Oleg. Boltin Oleg making his second G1 after qualifying in the play-in last year. Boltin Oleg won the never open weight championship against Takeshita back at Dominion. So here, looking at this block, I am going to go. This is an interesting one. You know what? Boltin Oleg, I'm going to go with, I keep picking the same 2 people. I'm going to have to go with Oyua. Oyua is the type of person that I think can have a hard-hitting matchup, which is like Boltin Oleg's kind of sweet spot where he has his good to great matches is when he's in there with someone who can deliver the hard hits against him. It's either going to be Tsuji or Oyua, and I'm going to go with Oyua because I picked Tsuji twice already. Sonal?
Even as a champion, just give me something. Oleg. I don't know. The thing is, right, he can probably have good matches with like everyone. He's a good wrestler. It's just who can he connect with? And I guess because I want to see something out of Boltin Oleg, I'm going to say Tanahashi. They have that history, do you know, that respect. I want to see a man like Tanahashi who's been a great wrestler for years, but is known for his heart and telling a story. I want to see the ace bring some sort of emotion out of Boltin Oleg. So it doesn't look like he's like just like an action figure.
J News.
I don't know why. It just kind of stood out to me just looking at the A block. But I feel like Bolton Oleg's best match is probably going to be against Taichi. But that's where I'm at with it. With where Taichi is at right now, in the New Japan world, and how he got into the tournament and things of that nature, and how he's got to, he's really got to fight this one out. Oleg Bolton being that big hurdle he's got to jump over. I think it'll make for a grand match. So I think Bolton Oleg's best match of the tournament would be against Taichi.
That's a good shout. I like that shout. Then we got what many people are calling a favorite for this year's tournament, Yota Tsuji. Yota Tsuji making his third G1 Climax tournament. Last year, he made it to the finals, losing out to Zack Sabre Jr. in a fantastic matchup. This year's G1, who do you got as Yota Tsuji's best opponent, best matchup of this year's tournament, Sonal?
He's another person that can have good matches with a lot of people, but because I picked a different one for Uemura, I'm going to say, for Yota Tsuji, I'm going to say Uemura. There's, like SP3 said earlier, obviously, they had that issue with the G1, with that injury in the match, and I think it's sort of going to be a way for Uemura to overcome, because obviously we've mentioned that he still is kind of afraid to go to the top rope because of what happened in that match. And, I mean, their rivalry dates back years. They're, like, OG, like, they're the young lions who had, like, the rivalry, so, yeah, it's always going to be fun to see them two in the ring.
I am going to go with someone that hits an automatic banger every time he's in the ring with Yota Tsuji. And that is the boss dog. David Finlay. David Finlay and Yota Tsuji, they are hit makers. They faced twice in last year's tournament. They had a great match and had an excellent matchup in the semifinals. They had the match of the night at Wrestle Kingdom this year. I think they'll deliver again in the G1. So I'm going with David Finlay here. J News?
Tsuji's best match is going to be up against the Prince of Pace, Callum Newman.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Good shout.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if New Japan is really going to sink their teeth into this kid, and with Naito gone now, they need to start to pair him up with the newer guys. And I feel like Callum's got to raise his stock in this year's G1. So if he has a banger with Tsuji, it'll definitely raise his stock. So I think Tsuji's best match is going to be against Callum Newman.
Then we got Ryohei Uewa making, I think this is his first G1, if I'm not mistaken. First G1 Climax tournament, his debut in the tournament. He, of course, qualified in the play-in, picking up a win over Satoshi Kojima. Ryohei Uewa, there's a lot of good options for him here. I might have to go with, I'll go with Uemura. You made a good point, Sonal, saying about the former Young Lions versus someone from the different class. So I think they would make a good matchup. They'll have good chemistry here. So I'll go with Uemura. J News?
I'm going to have Uemura's best match.
No, Uewa.
Uewa, I'm sorry. Yes, Uewa's best match. I'm gonna go with Tsuji. Just because they body type, they pair well. Their styles are uniquely different, so I have interest in that match just from an overall standpoint in that regard. And be it that Tsuji's just that notch above Uewa. I hope that Uewa can get up to that level himself. So I think that Uewa's best match is going to be against Tsuji.
Sonal?
I don't know, because Oiwa's so, like, I say young, but you know what I mean in terms of like the single match. I think I'm gonna go for Taichi. I just think, again, I mentioned it when I said Uemura and Oiwa. I just think the build is kind of, do you know what I mean? They're quite muscly and things like that. And I just think Taichi is one of those people, like, you need to be able to have a good match with Taichi. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's like a passage, rite of passage.
I understand. That's a good shout. Then we got the person y'all keep bringing up, the Prince of Pace, Callum Newman, who picked up the win over Taichi to qualify in the play-in tournament for this year's tournament. Callum Newman, who you got, Sonal?
So for Callum, I'm gonna go with Yota Tsuji. More because obviously, like, Tsuji is obviously a bit on the bigger side, but he does all of that, like, obviously high flying, lucha stuff. And Callum, for all intents and purposes, while he has put on a lot of muscle since going to the heavyweight division, he is still, I think, out of anyone in this tournament, is still going to be the fastest guy there. I was going to say Taichi, like, because obviously their match was big. But yeah, I really want to, similar to like what like SP3 said for Tsuji, I'm excited to see Callum versus Tsuji. I think it's going to be good.
J News?
I want to see the diversification of young Callum Newman. So in that regard and respect, I expect Callum Newman's best match in this tournament to be against the great Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I thought you were going to say Great Okan, then I was like, I think that's the wrong block.
I am going to surprise everyone here. Callum Newman's best match, Evil.
No, don't. No, why not? He should not be in the list of anyone's best match.
Evil.
He should not be mentioned.
Evil.
Screw that, man. Screw that.
I'm telling you, I can't wait to be right. I can't wait to be right.
I'm just gonna pretend you never said that.
Next
and that you momentarily lost your mind.
The boss dog. David Finlay making his fourth G1 Climax tournament here. David Finlay made it to the semifinals last year. He made it to the quarterfinals the year before that. Who's going to be David Finlay's best opponent, best matchup of this year's tournament? J News.
I've already picked suits twice for this, so I'm going to give the Boss Dog's best match to Uemura. I feel like Uemura continues to be on the rise, and he needs to prove himself against some of these more staunch veterans on the roster. So I would feel like David Finlay would be a good fit there, and I think that Finlay will get the best out of Uemura here. So I picked that to be Finlay's best match.
Sonal.
I'm gonna go for something a bit different. I'm gonna go for Tanahashi because I feel like if people don't remember, he was once a rootin' babyface in Hontai, and obviously he had a really close bond with Tanahashi. So I think it'll be interesting to see them face each other at completely different stages of their lives. Like Finlay was starting in Hontai when Tanahashi was like at his peak, and obviously now Tanahashi's winding down. This is where Finlay has sort of reached where he took a while to get to. So I think it's going to be good. Like obviously Finlay's a great wrestler, but I think story-wise it's going to be good.
I'm going to go with someone that people forget had an absolute banger with David Finlay just last year. Taichi and David Finlay, they have great chemistry together. I think they're going to deliver again in the G1. Then you got Evil making his 10th G1 Climax tournament here. Sonal, we'll start with you this time. Who you got as Evil's best opponent?
Can't get rid of him. Just always there, isn't it? Is it possible to have a? I mean, it is possible. I'm going to say it's from a storyline. I'm going to say it's from a storyline perspective. It'll be very interesting to see Evil facing Sanada. they were tag team partners, then they turned, and now they're back together on the same team. If I have to pick something, I'm gonna have to pick Sonata.
I think that's going to be Figure Poco Doom, but all right, fair enough.
You know what, I'm just saying, he's not going to be a good wrestler, so I might as well get a story out of it.
You know what? I'll go next. It's Hiroshi Tanahashi. Hiroshi Tanahashi got a great match out of Evil at Wrestle Kingdom. I think he's going to be the only one capable of doing it.
Great on Evil standard.
Yes, that's exactly the standard I'm looking for. I'm looking for a great Evil matchup, and that's what Tanahashi got at Wrestle Kingdom. Final time, probably facing Evil. I think he does it again in the G1. J News?
I got to throw this man a bone. I think Evil's best match is probably going to be against Oleg Boltin. Because Oleg Boltin can more than likely fend off the majority of the numbers of the House of Torture because of his big ass. And he's one of the few people who can probably throw Evil around. So I give Evil's best match to Oleg Boltin.
And then finally, to wrap up the A block, we have Sonata, the other member of the House of Torture in the A block, making his 10th G1 Climax tournament. J News, we'll start with you. This is your boy. Who gets Sonata's best match of the tournament?
I already mentioned that earlier, but I think it's gonna be Uemura at the end of the day, just because of the storyline aspects of it, and Uemura matches up with him style wise very well. And if Sonata chooses to actually wrestle a high caliber match, it'd probably be against him for all intents and purposes. So I give it to Uemura.
Sonal?
I'm gonna go on a similar thing, but I'm gonna say Taichi. This is more like it was similar to what I had for Show versus Yo at the Best Super Junior, but didn't really come to fruition. I want to see some sort of conclusion. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just want to see some sort of like. I want Taichi to bring back the old Sonata just for one match, just for Taichi to go, come on, I want this as a proper match to finish everything that happened. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's the hope.
That is the hope, right? Sonata's best matchup. This is so hard for me. I don't think he's going to have a good matchup. So, Sonata's best matchup, I'll go with Yota Tsuji. Him and Tsuji have good chemistry with one another, so hopefully Tsuji can bring back whatever was left of good Sonata back from 2023, and he can have it in this matchup here.
Can only hope.
So those are our picks for the A block best matches for each person. I think it's about time we get a special guest up in here, a pre-recorded special guest here, because we have some words and some predictions for not only best match of the tournament, as well as their predictions for who's going to make the playoffs from each block. One of my favorite content creators and Twitter accounts out there that's covering New Japan Pro Wrestling. It is the one and only Peps_Wrestling, who send us an audio file letting us know what he thinks is going to go down in the G1 Climax tournament. So here is Peps.
Hey guys, my name is Peps, and I'm glad to be here. To add my prediction for the G1 Climax season, it's always the favorite time of my year in terms of like wrestling enjoyment, because we have so much great stuff. And in my opinion, this year we have a really good field, a lot of strong cards, like maybe the strongest overall cards we had like years, like since like 2020 or something, because there are a lot of big matches on pretty much every show. Like, at least in my opinion, you can always look forward to the main event. To the blocks itself, I think the A block is a bit stronger than the B block, because there are like wrestlers in that I like more. Like Finlay, Uemura, Tsuji, and all of them are much better, in my opinion, main event style wrestlers than I have on the other side. The B block is still fine, but I think the bottom barrel of it is a bit weaker, in my opinion, for my personal taste. To my predictions itself, in the A block, I have Tsuji as A1, Uemura as A2, and maybe a bit shocking, but I'm going with Taichi on A3. I believe that they may go all the way to the playoffs with him, following him trying twice to enter the G1 Climax, failed in the play-in against Callum Newman, and then got in after the Goda's injury, and of course the gauntlet match with the phenomenal Ishii versus Taichi stretch. We're not talking about the rest. So I think him going through would be a bit shocking, but also makes sense in terms of like what they are trying to tell, considering we know that Goto likely was always never planned for the G1, question mark. On the other side, I think Finlay maybe missing out might be a bit of shock for others. Him versus Uemura feels like if one of them goes through, the other doesn't. And in my opinion, I chose Yuya. In the B block, the first two should be like very obvious. I have Zack at 1, Shota Umino at B2, and then the third spot comes down to me between Konosuke Takeshi and Ren Narita. And we had the exact same match last year on the B block final day. That time Takeshi defends. And this time I think that Ren Narita makes it to the playoffs, so that all 4 young guys, Yota, Ren, Uemura, and Umino, make it to the playoff stage. Might be a bit worse in
He had a brief pause in this video clip. I think he put his hand on his mic or something. He's gonna come back. Don't worry. I listened to this before.
Kept out of the 6 that I have advancing, because it's a protected matchup. It hasn't happened yet for like 2 years. I think the G1 Climax 2023, where they had a 20-minute time to draw. No, wait. Tsuji won like 19.5 minutes. They have wrestled since in a singles match. They have kept them apart for a very obvious reason. I think that is like the big match. If Umino makes it to the final, which I predict here that it's a big match in the final, they should run, simply because, okay, let's see how those guys are doing in the ring with the chemistry, everything, you know. And yeah, the winner is Yota Tsuji. I think every other answer would be at least questionable, in my opinion, because he is the most ready guy. He had the run with the white belt, with the global belt, and it's now time to move on. Him and Zack have a lot of history with each other with the G1 Climax final last year, so why not running that at either King of Pro Wrestling or Wrestle Kingdom? For the best match of the tournament, I'm kind of taking like a boring answer, and I'm going with David Finlay versus Yota Tsuji in the Kurikan Hall. Like, they have shown what great chemistry they have, and that on top at Kurikan, like that venue for pro wrestling in Japan, I'm so pumped for that one. I think they will have the best match together yet. Yeah, and with that, that's my prediction. I hope you have fun with the rest of the podcast.
Thank you so much to Peps. One of my favorite accounts when it comes to following New Japan and anything going on in like Joshi wrestling, overseas wrestling. He's got a lot of good takes and always a fun person to talk to. So thank you so much to Peps for sending us his predictions for this year's G1 Climax tournament. We appreciate him for that, because I know it would have been difficult to try to get him on here and live stream. You know, it's hard to get everybody's schedules right, but glad he was able to kind of send us some love in his predictions here. But I like that prediction. Like I said, with David Finlay, I think or Yota Tsuji, I gave Yota Tsuji's best match against David Finlay, but he noted something that extra makes me feel like I'm right in that regard. It's going to be in Kurgan Hall. That's guaranteed to be one of the best matches of the tournament. Kurgan Hall with 2 guys who always deliver bangers. That's going to be great. And as you heard, he's going with Yota Tsuji for the win as well. But that was a controversial take, saying that Ren Narita is going to make the playoffs. I was kind of shocked by that. What do y'all think?
I mean, at the end of the day, if there's someone out there who believes in Ren Narita, more power to them. At the end of the day, more power to them.
Sorry, that's so funny.
I don't know Peps personally. I don't do much engagement on the socials for most folks who don't know. Outside of people who I actually know, at the end of the day, I'm not good with strangers because people take me the wrong way. It is what it is. But hey, like I said, everybody's allowed an opinion because, you know, we're human at the end of the day. But Ren Narita belief That's a strong belief right there, brother.
Isn't there that phrase? You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
No, that's SP3. That's SP3 things. Right there.
I swear that's not just an SP3 thing.
Hey, I'm always saying that. That is my thing. You are entitled. You're entitled to have a wrong opinion. People think because I tend to hear that people like use
right. It's from Dance Moms. It's from Dance Moms.
Dance Moms? Oh, yeah. There you go.
I
never watched that.
Yeah, Holly was like, "You're entitled to your wrong opinion."
Okay.
I knew I'd heard it somewhere else.
I'm here for it. Because people tend to believe that, oh, I'm entitled to my opinion is like basically safeguarding their opinion. Like their opinion can't be wrong. You can have wrong opinions. I've had wrong opinions. Everyone's had wrong opinions. Just because you have an opinion doesn't mean it's right. But we got to highlight some of these comments in the chat. My man Isaiah's World is here. Good to see you once again. He joined us on the True Hill Heat Flagship podcast. He said he hit the sub and he's been joining us for a couple this week. We appreciate seeing you in the chat, good brother. He says, I need to watch new NJPW. Suggestions on where to start. It depends on if you want to start, Isaiah, in this year. As far as like this year, I would start, the best start is like the beginning of the year. It's Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, those back-to-back shows. Wrestle Dynasty, I prefer over Wrestle Kingdom. So if you want to skip Wrestle Kingdom, go to Wrestle Dynasty. I think you'll be fine either way. And or if you don't want to start at the beginning of the year, New Beginning is like the beginning of a whole new season of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And New Beginning was one of the best shows overall this year. So now, what would be your suggestion to it?
Yeah, I think that you could easily go down like a rabbit hole of content on New Japan World. But if you want to really just start in the present, like SP3 said, New Beginnings, I guess, when Goto won the title,
yeah,
I think that really is a good starting point. And maybe focus on like the big matches, so the ones at the end of the tours and things like that. Even with like, because obviously they had the New Japan Cup and Best Super. There's a lot of matches there, so maybe just watch like the semi-finals and the finals and stuff. Just focus on those big ones, and then now you can start and then you can sort of get a feel of all the wrestlers, the storylines, where they sort of fit in with New Japan.
Jay knows.
Oh man, where to start? I'm. You know what, man? I'm gonna be one of those people, man. I'm gonna be one of those people. I grew up as a gatekeeper of certain things, and we gatekeep the way that traditional gatekeepers gatekeep. You start from the beginning. At the end of the day, so take it all the way back. Understand what the history is, brother, and get current.
He said, "Go back to 1972."
Absolutely, no. For all intents and purposes, if you want to for the current product, you know what, man, to be quite honest, for where we are currently, start off when Goto wins the championship. Start off when Goto won the championship this year in February, and then go from there. And then you'll everything is gonna come up it'll be a good summation for you. From when Goto won to where we are now, sums everything up for you. So I think that's a good place to start with current New Japan.
Yeah, if you want if you want to go back further, I would say like if you want like a good starting point where you get a little bit of the people that you might know if you watch like an AEW or WWE, I always say like one of the best starting points for a new fan of New Japan is Wrestle Kingdom 10. That had AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Okada versus Tanahashi. Start from there and then watch New Year's Dash, because that has the big moment with Kenny Omega becoming the leader of the Bullet Club and the creation of the Elite. And I think that's if you got a lot of time, that's a good place to start. And then just watch the big shows from those years, right? Starting 2016.
29 years.
Yeah. Just watch the big shows like your Wrestle Kingdoms, your New Beginning, your New Japan Cup final, whatever the April show was. I think it was like no, April is usually Sakura Genesis now, but I don't think it was called that. I don't think it was called that back in like 2016. Whatever the April show is usually where the New Japan Cup winner gets their shot. And I think it was like 2017 it became Sakura Genesis, because that first one was Shibata and Okada. That was the first Sakura Genesis, if I remember correctly. And then like, yeah, your Donkakus, your Dominions, your G1s, and then King of Pro Wrestling, Power Struggle. You could, and then if you want to check out the tournaments like Best of Super Juniors and stuff like that, Super Junior Tag League, you could get like a whole couple of days. He said down here, he said, I bet I'm off the next 3 days, so I got nothing but time for wrestling. Looks like I got a bunch of wrestling to catch up on, with the exclamation emoji, loud emoji. Thanks for the recommendations. I shall start from day one like I did ROH. There you go. Good shout there. And thank you, Isaiah's World. Appreciate all the love in the chat. He says, SP3, stay putting on new content creators. Thank you, good sir. Prayer emoji. Happy I found this channel. Yes, I am completely new to NJPW. Yes, we're here to help. Spread the good word of New Japan Pro Wrestling. We got Yusuf in the chat, who's calling out you two, saying my constant reminder that Bolton is a beast, and that any who doesn't get it doesn't get wrestling. Man, he said that with his chest.
Yeah, man, he said that with conviction. I can respect anyone who says anything with conviction, but as
you are entitled to your wrong opinion.
There you go. That's exactly what I was about to say. At the end of the day, since we established that it is now True Heel Heat canon. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Both of y'all are evil. Y'all ridiculous out here. But yes. All right. Since we did all the A block, we heard from Peps, we did all the A block best matches. We might as well wrap up the A block here. Give me your top 3. Who is the 3 that's going to make the playoffs of the G1 Climax tournament? Once again, you got Tanahashi, Taichi, Uemura, Bolton, Tsuji, Oyowa, Callum, Finley, Evil, Sonata. Top 3 make it to the playoffs. Who you got, Sonal?
I have Yuya Uemura, David Finley. No. Why am I saying this? This is like not going to get. I've got Yota Tsuji, David Finley, and Taichi.
I love it. I'm going to go with Tsuji, Uemura, David Finley. J-News?
If I got to choose 3, so I'll say this so I don't have to repeat myself here. I'm sharing the brain with Sonal. I think that the top 3 are going to be Taichi, Tsuji, and David Finley. That's the way I see it, man. I usually, for those who've been here for a long period of time, I don't like to give the boss dog his props, but at the end of the day, they got to throw him a bone. He didn't leave. You know what I'm saying? So they got to throw him a bone.
Let's go.
He's still here, baby. He's still here. So
we might not be getting no super chats from Genesis J after hearing you, but I'm good. I'm good with that.
So I'll go. Yeah, I'll go that top 3.
Seems like Power Driver Finisher and Big Man Dogs are on the same page. They're on the evil bandwagon. Evil. Power Driver Finisher says Evil, Finley, and Tsuji. Big Man Dog says also Evil, Finley, and Tsuji.
Just leave. Don't leave, but don't. But
she's like, the door's that way. But let's go over to the B block now, y'all. We got in the B block. You got Shota Umino, you got El Phantasmo, you got Yoshihashi, Shingo Takagi, Zack Sabre Jr., Great Okan, Gabe Kidd, Drilla Maloney, Ren Narita, and Konosuke Takeshita. And we're going to start with the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Zack Sabre Jr., and the reigning, defending G1 Climax winner from last year in 2024. This is his 9th G1 that he is going into. He's now Dickhead Zack once again as the IWGP champion for a second time. Who's going to be his best match, best opponent of this year's tournaments and all?
I was looking at the list. I was like, yep, no, could be him, could be him, could be him. But just as you said, the Dick Zack Sabre Jr., give me Zack Sabre Jr. versus Gabriel Kidd. I think it's just going to be, they faced so many times in the past. They've got such a long history. Let's see how Gabe goes when he's going against an even more dangerous Zack Sabre Jr., who really just wants to kick the shit out of all the young future wrestlers of New Japan.
J News?
Oh man, Zack Sabre Jr.'s best match. You know what, man? I want him to turn it around. So you know what? After their stinker at Wrestle Kingdom,
oh my God,
I feel like Zack Sabre Jr. Dickhead Zack Sabre Jr. Will have his best match versus the one and only Shota Umino. Yeah.
Wow, I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah.
Zack does a lot of his best work in New Japan against the hard hitters, the banger aficionados. So I'm going with the number one banger himself in this B block, Konosuke Takeshita. First time matchup, I think they're going to deliver something special. Then we got the aforementioned Madman, Gabe Kidd, the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, going into his third G1 Climax tournament. J News, who you got as Gabe Kidd's best opponent?
For the sake of doing things the old-fashioned way and understanding that iron sharpens iron, I expect Gabe Kidd's best match in this block to be against his dog for real, Joe Malone.
Good shout. Sonal?
Yeah, I mentioned it when I spoke about Uemura and like Taichi. I love interfaction matches, especially when it comes to factions who are so tight-knit and small, which is the case with the War Dogs. Gabe is an amazing, very unpredictable, but Driller is also phenomenal. He's made the perfect transition to heavyweight, and I just think it's going to be two fucking madmen from the Midlands.
I am going to go with there's two big options for me. I'm gonna go with I'll go with Zack Sabre Jr. They delivered one of the best matches of the tournament last year. I'll go with Zack for Gabe. Then we got the aforementioned Shota Umino. Can Shota Umino redeem himself from his embarrassing effort in last year's G1 when I was rooting for him? He's making his third G1 Climax tournament here. Sonal, who's going to be Shooter's best match, best opponent?
I'll always be a Shooter lover. I always say this, and this is like, it sounds like a broken record, interfaction, especially after seeing his close bond with ELP. I really can't wait to see his match with ELP. I think we've mentioned this. ELP puts on amazing matches, and I think it's going to be interesting because ELP is going to try and speed the match up because that's the pace he works. And that's not something we normally see from Shota. So I kind of want to see how that works. And I also like that working with ELP, Shota is finding his colors back, like metaphorically finding his color again. So I think this is just going to be a very good match. And it's going to be interesting to see how, because when you have like heels facing or like tweeners and stuff like that facing each other, you sort of know it's going to be hard hitting and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how this works.
J News?
Shooter Umino's best match of the block is going to be against the Rampage Dragon, Shingo Takagi.
Okay. I am going to go with Gabe Kidd. I think every time they go out there, they beat the hell out of each other because they really don't like each other. So I'm going with him. That will be the most interesting matchup of the tournament. El Phantasmo is next up, making his 4th G1, the NJPW World Television Champion. This is easy for me. It's Konosuke Takeshita. The magic they delivered last year, the match of the year candidate, and I feel like he's finally going to win the big one against big Take Soup. So I'm going with Takeshita here. J News.
A name you probably didn't think of, just because of all the lore and because he is in this block to replace the Spirit of Bushido. El Phantasmo's best match is going to be against Yoshihashi.
Okay. Sonal?
I feel like it's like a cop-out, but I kind of agree with SP3. It's Takeshita, isn't it? They've had great match after great match, and I also think it's going to be the time, especially with ELP holding the belt, because I don't think that, like, Takeshi's going to beat ELP and go, I want the television championship. So, yeah, I think this will be the perfect chance for ELP to finally beat Takeshita.
Then we got the aforementioned Yoshihashi. I think this is like his 7th, 8th, 9th G1 Climax tournament. He, of course, qualified to be in the tournament by defeating Chase Owens. He's going to be representing the soul of the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Goto. Yoshihashi, who's his best opponent? Sonal.
You mentioned it. He's there representing the soul of Hiroki Goto, so I think he's going to get revenge on Zack Sabre Jr. I genuinely think, like, Yoshihashi is someone that they spend years taking the mick out, but actually in the ring, he's a very good worker, and he is someone who is very connected to the crowd. So with Zack in this new cocky era, he's going to be the perfect babyface because he's the one that everyone like roots for. I always remember that woman in that documentary who's like crying because of how much she wants to support Yoshihashi. He's going to do it for the people. He's going to do it for Hiroki Goto.
J News.
I think Yoshihashi's best match is going to be against the Madman, Gabe Kid.
Ooh, okay. I think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go. This is gonna be a cop out, maybe. It's gonna be a little bit of a cop out, but I promise. This is the last time I'll pick him. Konosuke Takeshita. Takeshi's having bangers with everybody. He's having bangers with everybody.
But realistically, he is the one that you can probably trust to have bangers with everyone. So I don't think it's a cop out.
Exactly, it is. But next up, we got the man who made it to the semifinals last year, Shingo Takagi, his 7th G1 Climax tournament. For Shingo, I will go with Zack Sabre Jr. That's guaranteed to always deliver. So I'll go with Zack for Shingo. J News.
I'm finally going to mention the name that has been mentioned many times during this whole block. Konosuke Takeshita will be Shingo Takagi's best match in the block.
Yeah. I wanted to pick him too, but I said I wouldn't pick him anymore because I will say they had a great match at Wrestle Kingdom, but they didn't have the heights that we thought they would get. I think second time around, they probably will.
Yeah, it's G1 season, son. Got to turn it up.
Sonal?
I'm going to go with someone a bit different. I'm going to go with Drilla Maloney because they're both big guys and they've had bouts for, and sometimes you just need two big beefy men slapping the shit out of each other just to make some happiness.
Very true. Very true. Then we got the great Okan making his 5th G1 Climax tournament here. Sonal, who you got for the great Okan?
I love Okan, but it's kind of... No, this sounds really harsh that I'm like struggling to pick. Okan, he's so unpredictable. Maybe Gabe Kidd. I guess they're both people that you just can't predict what's going to happen. Like, do you know what I mean? They're both just a bit weird in the head. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Gabe, even though it's very confusing. I don't know who to pick.
I'm going to go with Zack Sabre Jr. because I will never forget the greatest Great-O-Khan matchup of all time is against Zack in the G1 a couple of years back when they never left the ring and they just had this grappling submission spectacle that was awesome. J-News?
That was where I was going to go. At the end of the day, I was like, that's O-Khan's best match ever. Run it back. At the end.
Just do that. Do that again.
Just do that again, man. I can't trust him with anybody else. I'm there looking at the block, and it's like he'll probably mess it up against Shingo, and he won't go hard enough in the paint. With Gabe, shit is just like as sporadic as Gabe is from an emotional standpoint. I don't know how good that do from a wrestling standpoint. Drill is very high impact, and that with O-Khan's style is like, I don't necessarily know. Ain't nobody picking Ren Narita in their right mind against that now.
No. So, Ren is my Sonata of this block, where I'm not going to.
Hey, don't put the comparison.
So at the
they're
end
both
of the
House
day,
of Torture. They deserve it.
You know, I think ZSJ will get the best match out of Great. That'll be Great-O-Khan's best match. Yeah.
All right.
Not much else to say about that, is there? Sorry,
No.
Then we got Drilla Maloney. I will echo what Sonal said, but on the opposite route, I'm going with Shingo Takagi. These two guys have faced several times this year. He's the one that opened the door for Drilla to be part of the heavyweight division. So I'm going to go with Shingo to deliver Drilla's best matchup. I do think that the Gabe Kid match is going to be ridiculous, but I'll go with Shingo here. J-News?
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it back. I think Gabe's best match is gonna be against Drilla, and I think Drilla's best match is gonna be against Gabe. So I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on that one match for both those guys.
Sonal?
Yeah, I still think Drilla versus Gabe's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be so unpredictable, so crazy. Yeah. I'll stick with
Now we got a difficult one, y'all.
that.
Ren Narita making his third G1 Climax tournament here. Who's going to be Ren Narita's best opponent of the tournament, Sonal?
This is even hotter. Again, this is coming from a Sanada, Taichi, Yo show thing. I'm going to say Shota Umino. There's so much history with them. Obviously, they were classmates, rivals in the dojo. Then they went excursion, and they came back, and they were like husbands for about approximately a month before Ren Narita turned. I think it'd be nice. I mean, again, this is all in the hope that Narita decides he's actually going to wrestle well, because he can. Do you know what I mean? He had so much promise when he was a young lion of someone who, I still think he should have been a junior start, but someone who has got a very nice technique. So, I mean, if he can bring that back, I keep saying this, it never happens with the hopes, then I'd like to see him versus Shota. A nice blast from the past.
J-News?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go here. Give me inspired random ass G1 high end graps between Ren Narita and the Great-O-Khan. That's who I'm doing.
Wow.
Ren Narita.
Wow.
Why?
Yeah.
Reason I'm saying wow is because that was my same pick.
Exactly.
I will actually go with the same pick.
Absolutely.
It's because the expectations are gonna be so low. It's gonna have to exceed that. So that's why I'll go with the Great-O-Khan. Like that's the matchup.
That's the funniest thing you could have ever picked.
They're starting at a negative. They can only go up.
Anything is going to be better than what you've got in mind. I like that.
Exactly. He's gonna bring everyone else that's good in the block down, but Great-O-Khan is kind of at his
already
level.
down.
So, yeah. So there you go. And then finally, this is probably the hardest in the opposite way of Ren Narita. Konosuke Takeshita making his second G1 Climax tournament. It's like, which one of the great matches is going to be the greatest match, basically, with Takeshita? J-News?
Oh, man. Like you said, this is a hard one to pick. I'm not going to be completely obtuse here and shouldn't say some wild shit like Ren Narita. No. Don't get it twisted. You know what? I'm still on the edge of. I know him and LP have great chemistry, but it is G1 season, and I trust Shingo Takagi, man. So Konosuke Takeshita and Shingo Takagi, that'll be Konosuke's best match in the tournament.
Sonal?
I don't know, because like we've mentioned, like it's a complete opposite to Narita. I think it will be interesting. Right. So this is a question on an AW front. Is Takeshita Don Callis?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the Don Callis family.
All right. So I'm gonna say. Okay. So I just need to double check that. This is hard. Like this is hard and the opposite because I could even say like I'm really excited for his match against Yoshihashi because I think it's gonna be great. But okay, I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna say Takeshita versus Driller Maloney. Because again, they are two very big guys, but are very fast and athletic and charismatic. So I think that's going to be fun to see. And I don't think they faced off before. Correct me if I'm wrong. They might have done in the last G1, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember either.
Yeah. So I had to look up the schedule. Because I feel like whatever is going to happen with Takeshita, it's really a toss up with this one because he can have a great match with anyone in this goddamn tournament. So even Ren Narita, he can have a great matchup with. So I have no doubt it's going to be great. I see that August 7th they're in Kurgan Hall. So I'm trying to see who he's facing on August 7th because that probably will be his best matchup of the tournament because he always delivers in Kurgan Hall. But you know what? I don't want to waste too much time looking that up. So I'll go with what I went with the first one. I'll go with Zack Sabre Jr. That's a new matchup. I think their styles will mesh very well. You got Takeshita who's more hard hitting. You got Zack that's more of the techers. So I think I'm gonna go with him. It's tough. All right. B block predictions. Who is going to be the top 3 that make it to the playoffs? Once again, so everybody knows who we're picking from. You got Shooter. You got ELP. You got Hashi. You got Shingo. You got ZSJ, Okan, Gabe, Drilla, Narita, and Takeshita. Who's your top 3, J News?
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm gonna, right now, I'm gonna go sturdy with it. It's gonna be Big Soups. It's gonna be Takeshita. It's gonna be Gabe, and it's gonna be Zack. That's the way I see it.
Sonal?
I have Takeshita, Zack Sabre Jr., and I'm gonna throw something slightly different. El Fantasma. Because I said when we were discussing him, I said he could cause some upsets and things. So I'd like to think that it's enough. Because I don't think he's going to win, but I think that they need to start building him up more than just the television championship. So I'd like to see him get to the playoff, like the top 3.
That's a good shout. I'm going to go with Takeshita, Gabe Kidd, Shota Umino. They love Shooter. I'm sorry. I got to think with my head, not my heart.
If you know what, man, if Shooter Umino has a good tournament, I will bring back the Top Shotza. If he has a good tournament. But right now, he's just Shooter Umino. If he has a good tournament, I'll turn it around for him, man. But we'll see how it goes.
Y'all got to jump off this House of Torture bandwagon, Power Driver finisher. He says Takeshita, Kid, and Narita. He believes in Narita, man. He believes in the House of Torture.
He said Evil's is gonna be in the top 3 over in Block A. You know what I'm saying?
What are we doing? All right, we'll give rapid fire predictions for the first two nights, starting on Saturday and Sunday, before we give y'all the final four and then the finals, and then we'll go rapid fire first, and then we'll play our last clip that we got from our other special guest here. So Saturday, you got night one. We'll just rapid fire it. Just give us who you think's gonna win. Shingo Takagi versus Yoshihashi. Sonal.
I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works. I'm gonna say Yoshihashi.
J News.
Takagi Shingo.
I'm going with Yoshihashi.
Yes.
Then we got Callum Newman versus Evil. I'm going with Callum Newman. J News.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Callum, man. I'm gonna go with Callum. Yeah.
Sonal.
Yep, Callum.
Then we got the Great Okan versus Drilla Maloney. I'm gonna go with the Great Okan here. Sonal.
I can't believe you're going for Great Okan. I'm going for Driller.
J News.
Yeah, now Okan starts eating pins on night one. Driller for the win.
Oh my god. You guys are gonna be upset on Saturday. Then we got Yuya Uemura versus Bolton Oleg. J News.
I got Yuya.
Sonal.
Yeah, Uemura.
I will go with Bolton Oleg.
Disgusting.
Then we got Shota Umino versus ELP. Sonal.
I have Shota for this one.
I will also go with Shota Umino. J News.
No, I'm going with the LP, man.
I think this might be one of the few losses for ELP, and I think just like against the bigger names, he's going to pick up the big wins.
Yeah. Then we got David Finlay versus Roye Uyoa. I am going with David Finlay here. Sonal.
I love Oiwa, but I'm going with David Finlay as well.
J News.
I'm going with Roy, boy. I'm going with Roy. Ain't no way I'm picking the boss dog over Oiwa.
This may steal night one and be the leader in the clubhouse for the best match of the tournament early on. It's going to be Gabe Kidd versus Konosuke Takeshita. Sonal.
Jesus. I'm going to go for Takeshita.
J News.
You know what? Just for setup purposes at the end of the day, and I feel like Gabe needs a great opponent at Forbidden Door. Give me Take Soup for the win here.
I'm going with Takeshita for the win. Then we got Yota Tsuji versus Sanada, rematch from Dominion 2023. I'm going with Tsuji here. J News.
Big Suge for the win. I hope this match ends up being a quick one.
Sonal.
Yeah, just Tsuji. I love Sanada, but for my path to the G1 final to be right, Tsuji has to win this.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita. I'm going with Zack for the win here. Sonal.
Don't. If no, Zack.
J News.
I expect Zack Sabre Jr. to tie this boy up in a pretzel. Zack for the win.
And just leave him in the center of the ring.
Yeah, just leave him there. Yeah.
And then the main event of night one, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus the hometown boy, Tai Chi. J News.
I can't pick this. I feel like this is going to be one of those matches I'm going to cry in, for God's sakes. You know what? Momentum. I'm going with Tai Chi, man. I'm going with Tai Chi.
Sonal.
It's got to be the Holy Emperor.
I'm going with Tai Chi as well. Then you got night two on Sunday. We got Tanahashi going back to back, basically. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Callum Newman. J News.
I got Tana for this one.
I got Tana as well. Sonal.
I'm going to say Callum. I think he needs a big win over a big name.
Then we got Shota Umino versus Drilla Maloney. I'm going with Drilla for the win here. Sonal.
I got Driller as well.
J News.
Oh, man. Shooter for the win, son. Shooter for the win.
Then we got Bolton Oleg versus Roye Uyawa. I'm going with Uyawa for the upset. J News.
Yeah, word. I got Roy for the upset here, so you can get another shot at the Openweight Championship.
Sonal.
I'll never bet against my boy Oiwa, especially not for Bolton until he gives me something more.
Yoshihashi going 1-on-1 with Ren Narita. Who you got, Sonal?
I know it's going to be Ren, but in my heart, it's Yoshihashi.
J News.
Yoshihashi, man. Yoshihashi.
Ren Narita for the win. Then we got David Finlay going up against the House of Torture once again in Sonata. Sonal.
Come on, Finlay. Come on.
J News.
Just because of how everything has turned out between the House of Torture and the War Dogs, I feel like this will be a win for Sonata.
I gotta agree. I'm going with Sonata, unfortunately. Then you got Shingo Takagi versus the Great Okan. I am going with Shingo Takagi here. J News.
Same. Shingo Takagi.
Sonal.
Can you imagine a day where, I say this, where Okan beats Shingo?
Nah, I can't imagine that at all.
There we have it.
Can't imagine that at all.
Then you got Yota Tsuji going up against Evil. Unfortunately, Evil for the win. Sonal.
Yeah.
J News.
Wow, Sonal, that's crazy.
Because I feel like for what I'm gonna say later for the prediction, he needs to go through some adversity. Tsuji needs to go through some adversity.
He will, but just not here.
There was the lack of heals. Like Evil's one of the only heals.
Yeah.
So
if you believe Yota Tsuji is gonna go far, he's losing one of the matches this weekend. And this is the more likely of the two.
Yeah, I predict that Yota Tsuji wins this particular match, and because of the hijinks that'll take place, I call for a Shota Tsuji appearance in this match.
There we go. Then we got the match I'm looking forward to the most this weekend: El Phantasmo Konosuke Takeshita. ELP gonna finally beat Takeshita. J News.
Nah, it's one fall to 30-minute time limit. This is gonna end up a draw.
You're bugging.
Nope.
Bugging.
Nope.
You're bugging. They said they've already done a draw. They're not gonna do the same thing again.
I get it, but they're gonna put them on a bigger platform, man. I get it. But they gotta do it at a bigger platform again.
Sonal?
I'm sticking with SP3. I think this is ELP's time.
Then we got Taichi going 1-on-1 with Yuya Uemura, the match you're looking forward to the most, Sonal.
Plot twist, Holy Emperor.
I'm going to go with Uemura here. J News?
Yeah. This is a tough one. It's a tough one. But I'm picking Uemura here. I don't think Taichi in my book will win 2 in a row because I had him over Tana in night 1.
Oh yeah, true.
But you also had Uemura. He's gonna win 2 in a row? Okay.
Hey, man.
Then you got the main event: IWGP World Heavyweight Champion versus IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Gabe Kidd. I am going with Zack Sabre Jr. for the win here. J News.
Yeah, I guess it should be Zack here, unless they want to give Zack new opponents outside of the G1 for the title. But yeah, Zack for the win, I guess. I'm iffy on this.
Sonal.
Yeah, you could say it could build to something, but I think Zack. I think the new cocky Zack is going to take Gabriel Kidd by surprise.
There you have it. That's the predictions for this weekend. But we got one more person as a special guest who needs to give us a prediction, and he gave us a long one because he said he has G1 copium. That's what he is coining it, G1 copium. It is our good brother Josh from We Work Stiff. He's going to give you his predictions for the best matches of the tournament, who he think is making it to the end in the playoffs and the finals. So let's hear from Josh from We Work Stiff. We'll be off camera and we'll give him the spotlight for this one.
It's Josh from We Work Stiff, the New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast for the good lookers. And somehow, through generosity, kindness of SP3, I have been invited here to the True Heel Heat G1 Climax preview show, broadcasting live in the past via satellite, to provide some insights into this year's G1. We work stiff style. And the reason for that is I'm assuming that on this preview that you're watching, that there's been a very clear, logical, well thought out insights in regards to the booking patterns and possible trajectory for this tournament, which is super useful, super valuable. So I'm not going to do that when I come across here. Instead, I'm going to try to give a bit of an insight into what we do at We Work Stiff when we talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling characters and stories, and that is do some conspiracy booking, which is essentially trying to unite the head and the heart into something that I can logically project upon the booking as something I want to see. Quite frankly, in a very selfish endeavor, what I want to see and why I think you want to see it too, right? But it's just it's a fun way to invest. It's not fantasy booking. People say fantasy booking, I'm trying to project what I want to see. No, there's some justification for this, and we're going to identify some of the reasons why I think this has legs and is plausible. But I also freely admit that what I'm about to talk to, when I discuss my A block winner, my B block winner, the final, the winner of the final, and the matches you should watch in A and B, the key standout matches that I think are relevant. As I go through those, I realize that, there's a lot of different ways you can engage with this. And I think the best way for me to do it is just to be unabashedly stiff-coated. And that's what we're going to do. And hopefully you'll see the ways in which we do it. And maybe that provides greater enrichment for your viewing experience. I hope that's what we can offer here at We Work Stiff. And I very much appreciate the platform that we've been given to do this here at True Heel Heat. So with all of that said, it's quite a big preamble on a short video that I'm sure SP3 is looking at going, what have I done? But I'll be quick. I'll be brief. I give all of that to explain when it comes to A block, I'm all in on Taichi. All in on Taichi. I don't for a second believe, not for 1 second, do I believe that Taichi was never meant to be in this tournament. The last man to qualify, to fight his way through that tournament, that incredible gauntlet match that Meltzer said 5 stars for that section only, please. But I don't believe he wasn't supposed to be in there. That A block is so well suited for Taichi. It's like they booked it for him. There is all of his rivalries from the past 12 months are embedded in that block. And I see the first main event in Hokkaido, where he's from, against Tanahashi. He gets his Tana match there, right? From the jump. And then, stunningly, the final 2 nights for his block, he wrestles Callum Newman, then Oleg Bolton, the 2 men that have eliminated him in the past 2 years from the G1. In theory, Oleg last year, Callum this year, right? In theory, he did. So he can avenge that. Callum back in Korakuen. It just seems too fitting, right? It looks like someone designed this, right? And I know there'll be people out there calling me conspiracy theorists. Oh, of course, this is a go-to injury. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure. I assume E Honda needs a functioning elbow. I assume these things, but nonetheless, Taichi is the beneficiary of this, and he steps into a position where he has it lined up for him. So I'm putting my hopes in him. I granted. I recognize putting your hopes in Taichi's is it's a fool's errand in many cases, right? You are setting yourself up to be hurt. But there's joy and there's greatness in projecting upon Taichi your hopes and your dreams, because he will fight for them. So I'm all in on him for the A block. In terms of the match, to keep an eye out for an A block, there's a lot there that I think that, if you're people looking around, I think if you pick a David Finlay match, you're going to be, in for a good time in terms of in-ring quality. But I particularly have identified for me the most sort of important match is Taichi versus Yuya, second night in Hokkaido, semi-main. I just think for everything we've been talking about with what New Japan needs to do in progressing and moving people through, Taichi can do that for Yuya. Yuya needs that continued development. Their tag was incredible when they worked together in the tag league, where Taichi deferred to Yuya and he kept allowing Yuya to grow through the matchups. Let him fail in front, but encouraged him, constantly pushed him to get better. I'd like to see them doing that as combatants. I think that'll be really interesting. And I just think it's going to be emotional and a real struggle as both of them fight at different stages of their career for an opportunity to get to where they want to be. So I think that's a really important match. B block is a bit different for me. Again, I'm all in on Taichi. So all I've been doing is sitting around thinking about how I can see Taichi making it all the way through, right? So B block is kind of a little bit of an afterthought in my projections there. But in all honesty, B block is fascinating from the view of the champion is there, Zack Sabre Jr., the global champion is there. So the two major IWGP titles are in that space. So B block stands as a really interesting block, and it's difficult to project who's going to necessarily get out of that because of those dynamics. So I have a working theory in regards to the final, and we'll get to it when I discuss it. But basically, for me, the B block, Takeshita. I just think Konosuke Takeshita is a safe bet. I feel like at the end of the day, you want to platform the best you got. And to me, he's the best. And so this is a situation where he's obviously dropped the never title. He's lined himself up to be in a position to sort of move through a story in which it's not about people trying to earn something from him, but rather his fight to earn something from others. That may be in the form of beating Zack Sabre Jr. and getting a title match maybe down the line, even at Forbidden Door, right? But it could be progressing all the way through. And so I will at this point in time, before I've even done the Sport of Pro Wrestling pick'ems with Samson, before I've even done and recorded my G1 preview at WeWork Stiff, this is just what I'm saying off the dome when I've had to think about it. But I think that makes sense to me, is just to get him to platform him. And the longer he can wrestle, the more matches he can have, the bigger impact he will have for the younger generation who have to step to him. So I would say that. The B block matches that I would keep an eye out for, anything with Takeshita in it, I think is pretty safe. I do think the Gabe Kidd match out of the gate will be great. I think a sleeper match will be that match with Zack Sabre Jr. I think styles make fights, and that could be really interesting in terms of how they work. I think it also has massive implications beyond the G1, so I think it's a really interesting one to look out for. But just, again, it'll be forgotten by the time we get to probably night 6, let alone the end of the tournament. But the first night, the way we kick off this tournament in the B block is Shingo versus Yoshihashi. And that to me says get in. That's telling everyone this G1, we're for real. And I think that's a match that you should be really making sure that you set your alarms to get in and see that from the jump. I think it's going to set the tone. So I'm looking forward to that. In terms of the final, yes, I have said, and I still feel this way, that the dynamics of these blocks suggest to me something could be up, where you've got a lot of the titles are in the B block. So a lot of people can get their rewards for the tournament, get what they need out of this tournament before they even get to the knockout stages or potentially winning the tournament. There could be multiple challenges emerging as a consequence of that block. So I don't know if B block will need to be in the final. So that's just something I'm floating, not saying that, but I could definitely see an all A block final. Just looking at it, just considering what New Japan has done. But for the purposes of being nice and simple and keeping this clear, I'll go Takeshita from B versus Taichi from A. I think that's a lovely dynamic of a final. with Taichi's transition to become, a Hontai representative, to become an embodiment of New Japan Pro Wrestling. The former Black Saint who's done the whole full circle to tie in with Ishii, to be the outsider, the All Japan guy, to fight to get to this position. And this is his pursuit to chase the Zack Sabre Jr. match, which is out there. And I think that's, that is a hook. We don't know what the Wrestle Kingdom is going to look like, but we know that match is something that you could put on that card if you've got a Tanahashi match, if you've got an Aaron Wolf, whoever's Tana's opponent is, that could draw the house. It feels like that is still a rewarding match that will get the real sickos involved. And there's a lot of fans of Taichi. That's another factor in this. There's a lot of fans of Taichi. And, I know people want to push the young guys, and I do too. But sometimes as we have progressed this mid-card up to the main event in this past year or so, some guys deserve the right to be considered and perceived as the main eventer. Goto did, and he did great. And I think it's not outside of the realm of possibility that it's Taichi. I think Taichi versus Takeshita is the best match you can put on in this G1. Personally, I think it's the best match you could put in the ring. So I think you should put that in as your final. And, of course, I'd be having Taichi win it. But, of course, that may not happen. It's just a prediction. It's a prognostication. It's a bit of conspiracy booking, and it's what I hope to see. If you like what you've just heard in this past 10 minutes, apologies again, SB3. If you like what you've heard, feel free to listen to our show, We Work Stiff, available on all good and bad podcasting platforms. Check us out at weworkstiff.com or the stiff.club for our exclusive membership, Discord, a bunch of other bonus stuff, archives, all these sorts of things, where you can join up and become one of our stiffies. Or, this year you could join the tipping comp, the pick'ems that Chris Sampson does at the Sport of Pro Wrestling. I highly recommend that. I'm sure it's been promoted on the show, where if you win, you get a free 1-year membership to the Stiff Club anyway. So if you don't have the cash on hand, try to earn your way into the club that way. But obviously, again, thank you very much for the time, the platform here, SB3. I hope this preview is full of interesting insights. I'm sure it is. And I hope all of the listeners and viewers are getting excited about the G1 and what's possible, and hope all you out there, your faves, make it all the way through. You can feel free to come and follow me at Twitter, or on Twitter at WeWorkStiff, where you can watch in real time me go through existential crisis as I experience the inevitable downfall of Taichi. You can follow and talk New Japan Pro Wrestling with me there, because as you have seen, I'm always down to talk New Japan Pro Wrestling. So thank you for that. Happy G1 and all the best, SB3 and the True Heel Heat team. Cheers.
Cheers to Josh. We Work Stiff. They are one of the best podcasts out there talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he told me he's got a wild theory of him going with Taichi is awesome. I love it. He believes in Taichi. I love it. So he goes with Taichi versus Konosuke Takeshita in the finals. So we want to hear from you. If you're watching us live, say it in a live chat. Who do you think is going to be the final four? Who do you think is going to be the finals of this year G1 Climax tournament? All right, for my final four, looking at both blocks here, from what we've said before with our top three from each block. So from A, I'm going with Yota Tsuji and David Finlay. And from B, I'm going for Gabe Kidd and Konosuke Takeshita. That's my final four. J News?
Oh, man. From A, because I went Tsuji, Yuya, Finley. So I'm going with Tsuji and Uemura out of A. And for B, I'm going Big Soups, Takeshita, and Zack Sabre Jr.
Sonal, what about you?
Top four is hard because I feel like it's just like I never think far beyond like the top two. going to say block A, I'm going to say Taichi and Tsuji, and block B, I'm going to go, surprisingly, I'm going to go ELP and Takeshita.
And then the finals, this is a tough one. Because I think too many people are going for the same pick. I do have a post from another good friend of the channel. He didn't have time to give us an audio or a video, but Scott E Wrestling, he said he's going with Tsuji versus Takeshita, which seems to be a favorite for a lot of people for the finals. I am going with Tsuji versus Gabe Kidd. Let's finish the trilogy of 2025 and let's do something better than what we did at Dominion and recapture the magic from New Beginning. So third of the trilogy this year, Tsuji and Kidd in the finals. J News.
There's a reason that Scott E Wrestling is my senpai. We're sharing a brain. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be big soups and Tsuji in the finals. There's just no way around it. There it is.
Sonal.
Can I have two? Because I have two predictions for the winners. One's this one and one's this one.
Okay.
Because you know with me it's never straightforward. So my head is saying that the final. We're just saying the final two, isn't it? Or are we saying
just the finals? Just the final right now.
So my head is saying Tsuji versus Takeshita. My heart is saying Taichi versus Takeshita.
Okay. All right. Yusuf, I love how you turned it back on them. You go, boy. He says, oh, just to not forget to Sonal and J News, because of the comments, my love for Bolton regarding your hope for Sonata, you have the right to say your obviously wrong opinions.
And we all share in the same boat. And that is what this is all about, right? Community coming together, understanding our frames of thought, and knowing that we're going to be all wrong at the end of the
end of the day. All right, as we always do, J News, we've been doing this for 5 years now when it comes to these predictions for G1 and everything else. We're going to do a 3, 2, 1, and then say our answer for who we think is going to win the G1 Climax 35 tournament. So are y'all ready? Sonal, J News. 3, 2, 1. Yota Tsuji.
Tsuji or Taichi?
I knew she was gonna do it. I
said I had two choices.
I should have never played that video from Josh. Josh gave you the battery for your back. I know you were already going to say that, but you then got the confidence to say it because someone else believes.
But no, so actually, right literally before we came on, I put my review, and I'll plug that in a minute. But if you watch that, you'll say that you'll learn that actually this was always my thing. I literally said in my video, I go, my head is going for Tsuji winning, my heart wants Taichi. And as I mentioned earlier, if Taichi wins and he faces Zack at Wrestle Kingdom in the main event, I will be very tempted, and I might have to start a Patreon to fund a trip to Japan again to watch that.
Fair. That's fair. Fair enough. So we got 3 votes for Tsuji, 1 vote for Taichi. Awesome. No, 2 votes for Taichi because Josh went with Taichi. We got another vote for Tsuji because Peps went with Tsuji. So looks like those are the popular choices. The fandom choice of Taichi and the logical choice of Tsuji for most people. And then we got Power Drive Finisher who says Takeshita in the chat. So if you're watching this on demand, and Christopher gives it to Tsuji. If you're watching this on demand, let us know in the comments down below who you think is going to win this year's G1, and we can continue the conversation there. But I want to thank J News and Sonal for joining me on this journey, talking all through the G1 Climax tournament. I don't think anybody else is going to do as comprehensive of a preview as we are going to do, as we broke down who we think is going to have the best matches with who throughout the tournament. We gave you our playoff predictions, our semifinals predictions and the finals, as well as the winner of this year's G1. Sonal, thank you as always for joining us. We've missed you so much. So we'll give you the floor first. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, you can subscribe to me on YouTube as Sonal's Life. Literally 5 minutes before I came on here, I posted my own preview of the entire tournament. So, I mean, not as comprehensive as this one. Mine's only about 16 minutes. But, I mean, if you can sit through this 2 hours 10, then you can hopefully sit through my 16 minutes. So, yeah, I post about everything and anything. I do previews, reviews, normal stuff. Make sure to follow me on social media at wrestling_chat. Whenever I can watch a show live, which is always on the weekends and stuff, I will always be live tweeting, and people will vouch. If you liked my takes on here, I do the same just on social media. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, Sonal's Life, and follow me on X at wrestling_chat.
J News, thank you as always. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
Follow me on the Twitter machine, at John LYFNMG. Follow me on the Instagram _JONJY. Every Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, me and the lovely Dolores do our Hit the Ropes podcast. So that is where you guys can catch me there. I do written movie reviews on my Letterboxd account, same, John LYFNMG. If you guys want to check out movie reviews and things of that nature, you can check them out there. And yeah, should be back probably by the end of the G1 to do the full-on review with SP3 and Sonal here on True Heel Heat. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, indeed. And of course, we'll be giving you coverage of the G1 Climax tournament here on the channel on our flagship podcast. We will talk about the big matches from the week, who won, our reactions. And of course, you can check out matches of the week every week on the True Heel Heat flagship podcast, which I'm sure the G1 Climax will have a lot of representation when it comes there. But you can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Heel SP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Heel Heat, patreon.com/True Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, and you'll get that exclusive content coming up probably tomorrow. We're dropping our Ring of Honor Super Card of Honor 2025 review over there, so you can check that out. And of course, we'll be dropping something else on the channel today as we hit our super chat goal earlier this week. So we'll be dropping our NXT The Great American Bash 2025 review for you to all enjoy later this evening. So go over and check that out, and check out all the content that we had from All In Texas week, like our AEW All In Texas review with myself, Professor Chris of the NWA podcast, True Draw Josh, and Top Guy JJ. Check out our WWE Evolution and Saturday Night's Main Event review with myself and Amanda Savage. And of course, check out yesterday's Rated Raw review with myself, Romeo, and Top Guy JJ. But for Sonal, for J News, it is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. This has been our NJPW G1 Climax 35 preview. We are signing off until next time.